And most of these beliefs are built on a first principle. And the first principle is always an assumption. And once you allow the assumption to slip, then they can build what they like on top of it. So we have to deal with the first principle. If you die, and I'm right, you got problems. What's the first principle of Christianity?
Right, but by a similar token, because I grew up in a Western society where I had received a scientific education, I was...
What do you think science is? Because when we see what Christians were like with power, it was devastating. It was torture. It was burned at the stake to be purified. It was, if you're a Protestant and I'm a Catholic, right, we kill you. And then the king becomes a Protestant, right, we kill all the Catholic. It was a bloody time. It was the conquistadors. It was the transatlantic slave trade, justifying all of this when Christianity ruled the roost.
Right.
Now, once atheism and science get out from under the fist of Christianity, it doesn't want to go back.
I'm not saying that.
No.
So I'm not saying that you...
It's the implication. No. The implication is this. If there's no paradise, hellfire, and it's all a hocus pocus, and tomorrow we're dead, and I knew that for a fact,
right,
then all of a sudden that would now change the way I live my life. Well, that's what you would think, isn't it?
No.
Go on.
I believe in personal choice, and people have different...
Right, so this goes back to my main point. So you then must agree with me, I ain't personally missing out on anything.
No.
Right.
You're asking me, like, what if I'm wrong?
No. No. Right.
You asked me,
right. What if you're wrong? Right, so if you're wrong, yeah?
So now, hold on. Now, this
what did I say to you initially? It's a win-win for me, isn't it?
Well... I suppose it is.
I don't believe I could be living a happier life. If I wasn't religious, I don't believe I could be living a happier life than what I have with the boundaries that are around me. Right. Yeah, I don't think I could. I can't think of a system of life, a way of life, a moral way, right, that can compare with what I have right now.
Okay.
Take hellfire and paradise out of the equation.
But at least I'm
talking about lifestyle.
But at least you're making a personal lifestyle choice based on how you believe you would live a happy life.
Right? No. What I'm saying, no. Initially, no. Initially, me embracing Islam and following the teachings was nothing to do with making myself happy. By embracing Islam, as a consequence, I became happy. Now, that doesn't mean I was miserable before embracing Islam either. Right. So here's the thing. Because the question was, what if you're wrong? If you're wrong and hellfire exists, you've got problems. You asked me, what if I'm wrong? That's how we got to this point. Right. And I've showed you, there's no way I don't believe I can improve and make my life more content than what I have now.
Okay.
Well, I don't need the threat of hellfire and paradise to make my life what it is now. Yeah. So if I die and there's nothing, I've lived a happy, beautiful life that I don't think I can match.
And I all the power to you, I believe.
Right. So you concede the point then that if I die in this state, I win.
But may I?
No, wait. I don't lose, do I? If I die in this state and there's nothing.
No, I agree with you.
Right. And if I die in this state and I'm right as well, there's paradise and all this stuff, I win again, innit?
But may I say something?
Yes.
So for me, it's not just about... This comes back to the common argument against Pascal's wager, is that if I were to... because I also factually don't believe there's enough evidence to support that, the Quran is the literal word of God, then would it not be disingenuous for me to believe in the Quran or to become a Muslim?
No. Here's the thing, you see. Pascal's wager, what you brought up, that is a Christian denomination argument. Because you could use Pascal's wager and then you say, well, who says the Catholics are right? Because you Catholics say the Protestants are wrong, do you understand? So it collapses at that point. Do you understand? It's a Christian doctrinal thing rather than a inter-religion thing, Pascal's wager. Because if you're Pascal and he's arguing this, how do you know your version of Christianity is correct? How do you know the Unitarians are not correct? How do you know Jehovah's Witnesses are not correct?
How do you respond to that?
Right. No, that's why I didn't bring up Pascal's wager. You did. But I understand the principle.
I'm curious to understand how you respond to Pascal's wager.
All Christianity is false. Islam is the truth.
Well, not just Christian.
Ta-da! And that would mean...
But can you see from my perspective, in growing up in an environment where there are lots of religions that all tell me that they're the one true religion.
Yeah.
You know, like, how do you necessarily pick and choose? Like everyone else, there are other religions that claim to also be infallible. And
There are many beliefs. And most of these beliefs are built on a first principle. And the first principle is always an assumption. And once you allow the assumption to slip, then they can build what they like on top of it. So we have to deal with the first principle. Yeah. So I would agree with you. I don't believe Islam can be reconciled with anything. If Islam is true, everything else has to be false. If Christianity is true, all the other religions other than Christianity have to be false. Which version of Christianity then becomes another option? Do you understand? So going back to my original point, if you die and I'm right, you got problems.
Right, but if you die and you were,
I haven't got no problems.
Let's say that, you know.
No, we just all right. So
Jewish God was the
it's the same God.
Yeah.
It's the same God.
Muslims believe in the Jewish God.
It's the same God.
I'm aware of this, but you know, you also have additional tenets, and you know, Christianity, for instance.
Well, no, because you see.
Right, so like, but there are other religions that are incompatible.
Right. So we can come to that point. So all right.
Says that they're compatible with those religions. You know what I'm saying?
No. Here's the thing. You see. So what you're saying now is, let's say you're burning now, if I'm right, or if the Christians are right, because hellfire exists, and you're going to face it as an atheist. Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
If you're right.
Yeah. Now the question is, this is where Pascal Wager does come in. Am I right, or are the Christians right, or are the Jews right, or the Hindus right, or the Sikhs right, or the Buddhists right? Well, the Buddhists, no God in Buddhism. So who's right? Is my version of God right? Yeah. Now, when you look at Islam and Judaism, subhanallah, it's the same path. Yeah. If you look at the teachings of Jesus, it's the same as Islam. So you can very, very quickly separate all the other religions of the world into monotheistic and
non-monotheistic.
Yes.
Philosophically.
Do you understand? So into what's it? Polytheism. Yeah. Now, I quickly side using Occam's razor with the monotheistic. Yeah, the most simplest form. One God, creator of everything that exists, sends messengers and such.
Yeah.
All right. Now, let's just say I'm wrong. Let's just say I'm wrong and the Christians are right. I have a case. I've got a case. Because when I'm going to be punished, I say, whoa. Who's Muhammad? Why did you send him? Why did he claim to be a prophet? And I followed him, and here's why I followed him.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I would have a case.
So now, if you were gonna ask me, like, what if I'm at the gates of St. Peter, or I'm not sure what happens around afterlife, but if I die and I face judgment, right? I have a case. Because
you don't have a case.
No, let me tell you my case.
Go on.
Can I tell you my case? My case is, well, God made me. He made me thinking. He put me in the environment that I'm in. He gave me a rational mind. He surrounded me with science. He put me in this environment. I mean, it's not like I grew up in a Muslim community or a society where it was accessible to me, you know? So
nor did I. Nor did I.
I was experienced with.
Nor did I. So I'm not brought up in a religious society.
Right, but still, I mean, it's. I wasn't. Just because you found that path, it doesn't mean that I was predisposed. In fact, I mean, I grew up in North America, where the pressure comes from Christianity, right? It's people around you who are Christian who are saying.
I live in England, mate. I live in South Wales. I live in a white council estate. There's a few black kids in my school and a Sikh. I wasn't open to that until a point in my life where I meet people.
But don't you think that's the exact same sort of argument about your choice of Islam versus Christianity?
No.
Doesn't the same thing apply?
No.
Why not?
Okay. Why? Because what's supporting the idea of Christianity collapses under scrutiny. What's the first principle of Christianity? What do you believe it is?
What's the first principle of Christianity?
Yeah.
That, I don't know, that God loves you. I'm not a Christian,
No. The first principle of Christianity is the idea that Adam was created in this perfect state, and then when he sinned, he lost that state, and to get right with God, we need such and such and such and such and such.
Jesus sacrificed himself and so forth.
Right. Now, for me, I question that first principle. Why, as a Christian, do they believe, and I'll probably find a Christian to ask this question to today, why do you believe Adam was created in this perfect, holy way? And then he became this fallen, lower state. Because if you can't answer that, the question needs to be asked, why do you believe that? And it's only believing that gives you the idea of original sin. And when you have original sin, you need to have sacrifice, and that sacrifice has to be an eternal sacrifice, and then that sacrifice has to be God, and then God is only one God, so then Jesus has to be God to make up a Trinity, therefore to justify that. Do you get me? And it goes...
So in your view, Christianity is flawed, so you don't believe in Christianity, you chose Islam.
I don't think Christianity can be supported, personally. I can't see how... how it can be justified, should I say. Now, as a Muslim, what did I say to you? Islam can't be reconciled with anything. So if I have firm foundation to believe what I believe, then everything else by default is false, or deceived, or deception, or lies, or something like that.
Right, but by a similar token, because I grew up in a Western society where I had received a scientific education, I was...
What do you think science is?
Study of the physical world.
Sure.
And what? And who was one of the first scientists? You know, Ibn Sina, one of the Muslims. If you look at the history of science in Islam, it's this idea, and it's not your fault. I'll tell you why it's not your fault. Because the Christians did a number on science. Yeah, Galileo put on trial for making some claim about the sun, the shape of the sun, and all of these things. See, Christianity crushed anything that wasn't Christianity. Yeah? Right. So, this is what I say. Atheists have post-traumatic stress disorder, yeah, because of what happened to them when Christians ruled Europe. Yeah, and I always say this, these Christians go around kumbaya, this, that, the other. But they only say that because they don't have the power. Because when we see what Christians were like with power, it was devastating. It was torture. It was burned at the stake to be purified. It was, if you're a Protestant and I'm a Catholic, right, we kill you. And then the king becomes a Protestant, right, we kill all the Catholic. It was a bloody time. It was the conquistadors. It was the transatlantic slave trade, justifying all of this. When Christianity ruled the roost.
Right.
Now, once atheism and science get out from under the fist of Christianity, it doesn't want to go back. Yeah?
Right.
Now, Islam is the complete antithesis of that.
You take the example of Muhammad and how he spread his message. That's compared with Jesus Christ and how the disciples spread Christianity.
Sorry?
Read the Acts of the Apostles to see how the disciples of Jesus took out the message. They persecuted, but they didn't.
Right. See, what these Christians... Right. So what the Christians forget... Right.
Look at the example of Muhammad.
See, what the Christians forget...
How he spread his message, how his followers spread the message all over North Africa, all over the Middle East, up to Spain, all by the sword. Yeah. All by the sword.
Oh, okay.
Now compare this with the Acts of the Apostles and how those who followed the example of Jesus Christ took how they were persecuted. They were killed themselves, martyred themselves, but they never ever...
A few false assumptions she's made here.
Used violence against those
all right.
who use violence.
Can I respond?
Just like Jesus
Can I respond?
Christ. Now we look at...
Can I respond? Can I respond?
Yes.
Thank you. Right. First thing, there's no one in Acts of the Apostles where the disciples are martyred. This idea is put forward by the church fathers. There's nothing in the Bible about that.
Would you like me to show you where...
You can only show me James the Just. You can only show me James the Just. You can't show me these disciples being martyred.
How Stephen was stoned to death.
You said all the disciples.
Yes, that
right.
After Paul was martyred after Acts was written down. That was in AD about AD 60 something. So Acts was written down before.
What was Paul martyred for?
He was taken to Rome and executed.
For what?
For spreading the good news of Jesus Christ. You can read this in Acts.
Right.
It's all in Acts.
Right. Here's the problem with the Christians, right?
Okay.
They seem to forget. One second.
Look at Stephen.
So excuse me.
And he said, forgive those who are stoning me.
Right.
We will see.
The problem Christians have, I'll tell you another fundamental problem they have. Christianity is based on the teachings of the Church Fathers, the Council of Jerusalem, the Council of Nicaea, not the Council of Jerusalem, sorry, the Council of Nicaea, Council of Constantinople. Now, if you look at the teachings, of the Church Fathers, they encourage or permit lying for a good cause. So you have now spreading Christianity in their eyes is a good cause. So you have the church fathers sanctioning.
Jesus
You have the
said
church
it's
fathers
the truth.
sanctioning
It's the Sharia,
lying
which
to further your belief.
you must.
And the
lie
irony
in a
is
court.
they accuse Muslims of this taqiyya
We've got the reference
when it's a
to
Christian.
that. The traveller.
You know what taqiyya is?
If it's a praiseworthy cause,
Taqiyya-
you can't reach it.
You're being very rude. Listen, young lady, you're being very rude.
Lie.
You're being very rude.
This is Islam.
What?
This is Islam. He is absolutely.
The church fathers say that.
We will find.
No,
where
no, no.
it says
The church fathers,
we are not allowed to lie.
Conversation between them.
the church fathers permitted lying
7 for me, please.
as long as it was for a good cause. Do you believe that or not?
7.
I don't believe it, but if it happens,
This is in the manual of Sharia.
No, but Paul says it's okay to lie for a good cause.
what does it say? What
Romans
does it say?
3.
Paul says, why am I persecuted for my life?
Cairo University, Centre of Bloody Islam.
It's not going to happen with her here.
No, what does it say?
She's one of the pigeons in the park.
Let's find where the manual of Sharia says.
Listen.
What scripture says that?
Well, one second. I can't.
Romans 3:7. Romans 3.
There you go.
Is that what it says?
Yes.
Well,
Like he said,
Paul
he said
justifies
listen.
his law.
No. Paul asked the question, why am I being persecuted for lying?
what does it say?
When it is, this is manual of Sharia. When it is possible to achieve such a name by lying, but not by telling the truth, it is permissible to lie. If attaining the goal is permissible, i.e., when the purpose of lying is
No.
someone who's preventing
This is the whole point. This is the whole point.
Al-Azhar University in Cairo, which is the interpretation of.
So how do you respond to this?
Now,
Can I? I'm not going to see it. But how do you respond when the Quran says, "Do not lie against yourself and your mother"?
When
And your own family.
For example, one is concerned.
Honestly.
Ma'am, if you don't mind, we had a different conversation going on with an atheist.
Well, they've changed the subject.
But we weren't talking to you. No, it's good. Come here.
Christianity is not like
Come here.
Islam.
What did you say?
Romans 3:7.
All right, because I don't know the actual verses, so I'm not.
Speaks about
All right.
how to glorify God.
Yes. Yeah. So you're saying the church fathers went against the Bible if they said it, yeah?
Yeah, we're going off on a
This is
tangent
read
here.
out of context. It's totally out of context.
It's
But
quite clear.
Where does it?
7.
Is this
the direction is of God.
For if the truth of God is increased through
Oh yeah.
No. He just ripping the scripture out of context.
No.
No, we have to go up.
Okay, well let's quote the verse. Let's quote the verse.
He's ripping the scripture out of context.
I know. This is why we're here.
She always comes.
I know.
She's pushing me. Look. Excuse me. I need to get past. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you very much.
Excuse me. Hello, why are you pushing the lady?
Because she blocks the camera.
Well, you don't need to push her. You have to respect
She's the one who's
people.
pushing me. I mean, look at this. She's the one who's pushing me.
So if she's pushing him to block the camera, what would you do? How would you deal with that?
Just ask nice.
She doesn't listen though.
Believe that she's the one who's pushing me. I'm getting the mic.
She
from the
doesn't
man.
listen.
Okay, but
Neither is pushing now.
No, it's not violence.
pushing is a
Look at her now.
She was pushing him. She was pushing him.
I was staying my ground.
You've got to respect people.
Excuse me.
All right.
Ask
Just
you
come here,
nicely.
sir.
Come on. Imagine somebody pushing your mom. That's not nice.
Pushing me. Why are you not buying what I'm telling
Okay,
you?
but what I'm saying to you, there are other
Look, let's not deflect. Come here. Sorry, I keep moving you around, but I have to keep doing this. Young lady.
I am.
All right, that's good. All right. So the point I was at, we were talking.
We're discussing science and compatibility of science and Islam.
No, we was talking about how I was saying how Islam is the antithesis of the idea of suppressing science. We're told as Muslims seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. We have no issues with about scientific experience. Yeah. So we don't think you're either a scientist or you're religious.
blocking the camera, man. The camera's right
There's a camera behind you.
Oh dear.
The camera's right behind
This
you.
is Speaker's Corner.
I'm trying to tell you that she's the one.
Why don't you come on over this side?
Come this side.
Okay, let's hear.
No,
what
come
you
this side.
have to
Come
say.
this side.
Why don't you
Come
stand
this side.
here? You're blocking the camera if you don't.
I'm not talking to. I'm talking to this gentleman here, not you.
I'm interested to hear what you say.
You don't, can you just go? And here's the problem.
Okay, I'm here. Yes, let's hear what you have to say.
Right.
Well, can you move to the other side?
Why don't you move here? Because
Just go on the other side.
You're right in front of the cameras now.
Look behind you. Just look behind
Yes,
you.
okay. They've got the back of my head.
That's
Okay, carry on.
Sure. So we were having this conversation.
Right. So what I'm saying is this. So we don't see religion and science as separate things.
You don't, but science might disagree.
So science has no realm of God. Nothing to do with God. We have no issue with that.
limited to the physical.
Science is how something works, not why it works.
Versus the spiritual.
Yeah. Well, not how it got there.
Right,
Sorry.
but that's the objective of science. But science also requires that things are tested, right?
Yeah, but you can't test certain things, can you? You have to guess.
You can't
isn't it?
test certain. You can't.
Really?
You cannot test certain things. But science doesn't make incredible claims without having at least some supporting evidence.
Please, can I ask
What?
you to go on the other side?
Ma'am, why don't you come on over this
Can
side?
you go over there and
You're blocking
you
the
can-
Speculate
the
the hypotheses and
back of my head.
theories and facts about.
Yeah. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, this is doing my head in.
Can we please request
Sorry.
you to come on
Let me just hide. Look, this is how Christians behave in the park. We're having a nice conversation. Well, this is how she's behaving. So just so you guys can see,
You were talking
this is how they behave.
and so I'm a Christian to tell us what we do think
And you can't say
and how Jesus tells
She's
us
a
not
Christian.
to lie. But the University of Al-Azhar says you should.
So are you saying that she can do what she likes in the park?
Yes.
That's what she wants.
Okay, so I can do this then, yeah? That's fine then. All right,
you're
let's
being
carry on.
rude, but you can do
That's fine then, that's fine. Hey, Allahu Akbar. Hey, you see, everyone's a winner. All right. So what I'm basically saying is this. I don't believe they're two separate things. I don't believe you have to be either a scientist or religious. I don't believe that. You think you do. I don't believe you do.
Right.
Right? So whatever science you think exists as a reality, if it contradicts Islam, bring it.
So sperm
so
is
not just-
produced between the ribs.
So not
So bring it.
scientific facts, but scientific
spine.
process.
No,
requires that we
bring me a fact from science that contradicts what I believe.
Just because something is infallible and can't be contradicted does not make.
No, I didn't. That's a straw man argument. I didn't make that claim.
I mean, that's a big leap.
I'm not making that claim. What I'm saying is this: as a scientist, is what you believe.
Right.
Name one thing that contradicts what I believe as a Muslim.
Great.
Shall I show
Prove
you
it.
from the Quran?
Okay, but I could also tell you this.
No,
I
no.
could say
No,
prove that the Quran.
I asked you for something that refutes what I believe, isn't
That's a
it?
double standard, though.
Why?
Because I could say, prove to me that the Quran is real.
I can't prove to you the Quran is real.
Right. Just
I
like
can't prove to you the Quran.
Just like I can't prove to you that natural selection occurred. We only have.
No. But
we
here's the
only
thing.
have certain
Look.
possible
Listen to my question very carefully.
Yes.
Name one scientific fact, one scientific absolute, if there is one, yeah,
Okay.
that contradicts what I believe as a Muslim. Because if you can't, that means Islam is compatible with science.
Here you go, from the Quran.
No. Because
from the
science.
Quran.
Because that's a
This is-
mischaracterization of science. Because science is not
Translation
just
from
a
the
collection of
Quran.
facts of things that we know. Science is also a process by which we understand.
Okay. Name a process within the scientific mechanism
Created man from an essence
that contradicts what I believe as a Muslim.
placed him in a living germ, a secure
Extraordinary
enclosure.
claims require extraordinary
The germ we
Right, and you're the one. No, you're the one making the claim.
clot of blood, a lump of
I'm making-
flesh.
Yeah.
I'm making a claim about what science
Okay,
is.
let me make it easier. Do you believe science or Islam contradicts science?
Do I? Sorry, repeat your question.
Do you believe what the beliefs of a Muslim are contradicts science?
Yes.
Right, which point?
Here, you can read it from the Quran. Plenty more where this came from.
This.
Yes. Ma'am,
The
having
sun
another
sets in a
conversation.
pool of muddy water for a start.
this is
Sperm is
like-
created between the ribs and the back.
also
we'll give you lots of things that
you have no
Quran
understanding
has
of the
got it
Quran.
wrong,
That's the problem.
according to modern
Ma'am,
science.
I agree with you, but I also don't believe in the Bible also.
So that's irrelevant.
We don't claim.
If you want
that
to
ours
use
is
her point, I don't
biased.
mind. Bring something that you think can, in Islam, what it teaches that you can prove is false.
Just because something cannot be proved to be false does not make it true.
No, but it doesn't make you can't say it's false, then can you either?
Pardon me?
Look, it's a very simple situation here. Yeah,
Clay. Mecca wasn't even built on clay.
I'm a Muslim. I have beliefs.
Right.
I don't believe there's nothing I believe as a Muslim, yeah, that means I have to reject science or a scientific fact. Nothing. So I believe they're completely compatible. I do. Yeah, right?
Right.
Do you agree with that or not?
I agree that there are elements of science, but not
Which doesn't say
the spirit of science in its heart is that you have to have certain physical or testable evidence to make certain claims.
Into bones, then
What?
You have to have certain physical evidence or testable evidence
Right,
to test
but you
any
can't
science
observe.
process.
You haven't observed evolution.
We can observe evolution, we've indirectly observed certain things that could suggest hypotheses.
No, all you've seen is data, and you've come up with a theory that
Right.
gives you an excuse not to believe in a God.
Right, but where's the data on creation? Show me some compelling data that would compel me to believe that
I'm not here to compel you to believe me.
Right, so that's where I feel science and religion are
Okay.
incompatible.
I'll make it easy.
In that what you're saying is that it comes down to belief, which is faith versus science.
No, because science is also belief.
We were talking about this last night.
Okay, what's belief?
What's belief?
Yeah.
Well, belief is having a conclusion and then creating the facts, or looking for things that support your beliefs. That's in my
No.
mind what faith is.
No, what's faith, belief, the same thing.
You started by assuming that Islam is, or the Quran is the literal word of God, and you
No.
based evidence around that.
No, I didn't say that. Look, let's take religion off the table right now.
Okay.
What's belief?
What is belief?
Yeah. Because you said it like it was some airy-fairy thing.
yes, for Christianity, we look at the evidence.
We're not talking about Christianity.
Wait, so
Jesus.
please tell me what-
evidence.
No, I'm asking you.
So we have
asking me?
evidence.
Yeah.
You have evidence. What is your evidence?
It's it's fundamentally like what you believe to. Well,
No, because now you're using the word. I'm asking you to define the word you're using, not just use a word in a sentence.
Right, I guess it's your understanding of the world, right?
All right, I'll say how I understand it. Let's see if you agree with it.
Okay.
Okay, belief is the acceptance of something to be true,
Okay.
even without proof.
With a lot of evidence, if it's Christianity.
I don't say necessarily without
Muslims
the
have to
evidence of
say what
truth.
their
What?
evidence is.
I wouldn't. Even your belief isn't without the evidence of.
No, without proof.
It says this is so beautifully
No.
written that it could only be written by the maker
I mean,
of the universe.
I feel like your
That's
definition
his
applies more to
evidence.
faith.
No, faith and belief is the same word.
And in
I think now we're getting a semantical argument about the meaning of certain words.
No, look. When you use a word,
Okay.
use the word as it was intended to be used. So this is not playing with words. This is using the word as it is. So when you say I believe something, if I say I believe something, I'm saying I have faith in that something. I'm saying I accept that something. I'm saying I'm convinced by that something. I'm saying I'm convicted by that something. Yeah? Because if you go into thesaurus, all those words are synonymous with the word belief. Yeah? So if I accept something, it means I believe it. Yeah? And even though it's not true. So I'll give you an example. I've got two daughters.
Okay.
I can't prove they're my daughters. I've never had a DNA test.
I gave him that argument yesterday.
Right? I can't prove they're my daughters.
Well, this is where.
No, 1 second.
Okay.
I can't prove they're my daughters.
No.
But do I believe they're my daughters?
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I mean, when it comes to science, my belief is not absolute.
Okay.
Right?
Forget
I
science.
give you evidence.
Forget science. First of all.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he asked me about this in terms of like my father. How do you know your father's your father?
No. Do you believe your father's your father?
I believe my father's my father. Yes.
Right. And have you had a DNA test to prove that point?
No, but I apply Occam's razor. Like this is where we arrive.
Well, how do you know your mum didn't cheat?
How did I know my mom didn't cheat?
Yes.
Well, I look like my father.
No, that's just reasons, and this is not proof.
No, it's not proof, but it's enough compelling evidence. Science doesn't require
No.
proof either.
First of all, do you believe your father is your father? Yes.
Yes.
Can you prove he? Have you Have you proven he's your father? No.
Okay, I'm with you.
So now you're believing something to be true without proof,
Okay,
which is belief.
without proof, but with evidence.
No. Let me continue.
Yeah.
So that's your belief. So now the next question that can be asked of you, what reason do you have to support that belief? And then you will say, I believe my mum's a chaste woman. I look like my father. The family testify to it. Yeah? So these reasons now will support your belief. But it still ain't proof.
Yeah.
Right. So this is an example of how a belief can be true without proof. Yeah?
But with evidence.
Reason.
Not absolute
It's
proof,
not
but
evidence,
with-
it's reason. It's subjective, isn't it?
Reasons, sure.
Saying your kids look like you, I can say, nah, they don't look like you, mate.
The reasons, but there's still reasons, compelling
Subjective
for me
reasons.
to believe
No,
those things.
don't get me wrong. They are reasons strong enough, no problem at all. But it's not proof.
It's not proof, but I can apply Occam's razor. What is more likely, that I've been lied to by my mother, by my, by my
Well, that happens a lot, mate. What if you switched at birth to hospital? They don't even know.
that even though we look alike and that my siblings.
What if you switched to hospital? They don't even know. What if the family next door had a little girl and they wanted a little boy? Or whatever. I'm just giving
Those
you.
things aren't likely.
No.
I can. All I can.
How can you put Occam's razor to that?
All I can do is take in the reasons and the evidence that I.
Allahu Akbar. I agree.
And
I
choose
agree.
the more likely situation.
Alhamdulillah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
But now you've conceded a belief can be true without proof, and then you have reasons to support it.
with
Allahu
compelling
Akbar.
reasons. But-
And then guess what happens? And guess what happens then? If your reasons can be countered, yeah. So you give your reasons why you believe such and such a thing. So we can't prove it now, but you're saying they look like me. I believe my mum is chaste woman, right? They're your reasons. But then I come to you. I don't know your family history, and this is hypothetical.
Which is
But then if I came to you and said, look, I've got evidence that your mum was cheating with this geezer at the time you were born, right? And it was with your dad's brother.
made from clay.
That's why you look like him.
Then my beliefs would be challenged, and I'd be open to.
Now the question then needs to be asked. Exactly. Now if you then at that point said, well, I still believe he's my dad, that's now delusion. Because your reasons for supporting your belief has been countered, yeah? And now you're still now believing blindly now. You're ignoring the evidence now.
You don't think that's true in terms of the.
Let's stay on point. Let's first establish the principle.
I understand your.
So you accept now that a belief can be true without proof.
Without proof, but with evidence. Can you make a concession with some reasons?
No.
With reasons.
Do you accept a belief can be true without proof?
I believe can be true without proof. Absolutely sure.
Alhamdulillah. So we have a principle now.
Okay.
We can apply to everything. Whether it's religion, whether it's your father, whether it's science, everything.
Right, but from my point of view, having a neutral standpoint and taking information about religions and learning about different religions as well as learning about science, I am not presupposed to a particular position. I'm just taking information.
No,
and the thing that
how else are you
that
gonna
makes
learn?
the most sense to me in terms of the reasons that I've heard about to explain where we come.
Yeah, but you've got your own preposition because you like to sleep around. You've already admitted that. Therefore, you wouldn't want a religion that prohibits that. So you're already biased against it because it's going to inhibit things you like to do. But anyway, that's another point.
That's a very personal kind of thing, and you don't necessarily know that that's how I feel. And that's
No, but you say you like sleeping around now.
I do now, yes.
That's what I'm saying to you. So you like to
But I
sleep
could
around.
also accuse you of the same biases. I don't know you, and I don't want to.
So
your view, because you're seeking religion, and you feel. So I don't know what reasons you have to seek out religion, but certainly there are reasons that
I didn't seek out
or
religion.
gravitate towards religion, right?
I didn't seek out religion.
Written.
Right. Anyway, so now we've established the principles.
We have established that
Right.
you don't like sleeping around. The moral code of Islam is compatible with your person. What makes you happy? So
No.
I could say the
We're
same
applying
thing
the
about
principles. We're applying principles here because you keep saying about my predisposition that I want Islam to be true as such.
I mean, you accuse me of personal bias in terms of like the.
No, it could be. It could be.
And it could be for you too. Can we concede that?
So okay. So what's personal bias on my side?
You said that I chose to be an atheist, or possibly I chose to be an atheist because it's compatible with the lifestyle that I do.
No. I said not you chose to be an atheist. You wouldn't leave that way of life of doing what you like when you like because it's going to stop you doing things you like to do.
That's not true.
Of course it is.
No.
I'll give you an example. How you doing, Big Chris? You good? Alhamdulillah. I'll give you an example.
You had me before. So you had me before when we were talking, just in terms of
Beliefs.
and
Yeah, well, I can go about
Please
that.
don't make this personal.
I'm not going to make it personal. No.
Yeah.
All right. No, but you're making it personal on me. Because you're accusing me of the same thing I just accused you of.
Very untruthful.
I'm only pointing out the
No, you accuse me of this predisposition, and I'm doing the same to you. That's all.
You started that argument.
No, you did. You said I'm predisposed. Yeah, we can watch it back. Anyway, right. So now we're at this position
So let's not talk. Let's leave the personal bias part of it out of it.
Yeah, no, great. So don't accuse me of it.
Your evidence.
I know. I didn't want to go there. I didn't start that.
You did.
No.
You said I have a predisposition.
You said that about me. You said that because I want to sleep around.
No, prior to that, you said it to me.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. Come on.
All right, we'll park that.
Leave it on.
So we've established a principle of a belief, yeah? So we now accept a belief coming true without proof. So now what happens in this situation, I've spoke to atheists in the past, they say to me, prove there's not an invisible monkey playing the piano on Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah? Or prove there's not a spaghetti monster.
Sure.
Right. Now this would only happen if I said, prove there's no God. Yeah? And I would never do that. So if someone says to me, prove there's no spaghetti monster. Mike, you know my answer's going to be? What do you think my answer's going to be if someone says that to me?
Tell me
What would you imagine from our conversation?
that you can't.
No? Try it.
Prove to me there's no spaghetti monster.
Do you believe in spaghetti monsters?
No.
Me neither. Right, so that's dead, yeah? Because it's a nonsense.
But she could say, prove to me that Christian God is in the.
Christianity.
Do you want to try that?
She believes
But
it. Yeah, please. Let me know what I
science,
hear.
it shows us how God was thinking.
Right.
This is
I just want to see what your argument is. Because I really respect your ability
Yeah.
to form
Yeah.
I just think that you're applying a certain double standard.
No. You know why? I'll tell you why it's not.
You must look at the
Because
evidence.
you know what I said about the principle of belief?
The revelation.
You can apply it to any matter. Christianity, Islam,
We'll talk
science.
about evidence for
Why do you believe that? For example,
I don't
why
think
do you believe in evolution?
Discuss it.
Yeah, and you'll give me your reasons. Now, there's a beautiful video that was done last week in the park.
Right.
Yeah, I think we might put it up on our channel. It was Sabur and Skydive Phil. Did you see it?
No.
So this guy, and I'm going to be honest with you, this topic of refuting evolution, I'm not even going to embarrass myself when there's that knowledge already out there in the specifics. So if that's a contention for you of what is the challenges towards the belief in evolution, I suggest you watch that video. Yeah, because it challenges the whole. You know, like we challenge the reasons why you believe your father's your father. It challenges the reasons why you claim evolution happened, and all the little nuances get taken apart.
He's saying that
Do you understand?
points out the outliers and that.
What's that?
He's saying that Sabor points out the outliers and they're not the majority of
Yeah. Oh, is that what he says?
So can I actually respond to your question? You asked me like why before you started talking about the previous video why I believe in science versus something else, the nature of belief and why.
Go on, let me respond. I can't remember. Go on, make the point.
Right, but so the reason that I feel like, because you're sort of making the case to me that all even science requires belief. Is that sort of what you're saying? So the difference for me is that I apply Occam's razor. I'm thinking of.
So give me an example. Give me an example of
So I
this.
look at the Quran. So I see the Quran. I see that it's a book that was written 1400 years.
Right.
And then I see modern researchers, people in contemporary times who have done a lot of research, who live in modern society, where we understand a lot more about the world now in terms of germ theory, things like that, modern technology. And these scientists, thousands of them, tens of thousands of them, have done research on this, looked at historical evidence, looked at fossils and things like that, and they all, as I know that I saw a video where you point out, you name and cite very reputable scientists who disagree with the overall model. However, the consensus still is that natural evolution has occurred, and that human life started as.
You must not prove it. It's a belief.
It's a belief. But when I apply Occam's razor, I think what's more likely that someone 1,400 years ago wrote a book that tells us the nature of the universe, or that tens of thousands of researchers in contemporary times have shared all these views, have tested theories, and these are the best conclusions, not necessarily, they're not absolute beliefs, these are the best theories that we have to understand the natural world. To me, when I apply Occam's razor, what is more likely? I feel what is more likely is a scientific consensus.
Okay. I believe. I was going to make a very, very good point, and you threw me.
And so that's where the
No. I had the flipping point, man. So you're saying that? All right, yeah. See, I believe the Quran. I believe the author of the Quran.
Read it.
I intend to.
Inshallah, we'll give him a Quran. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Inshallah.
Make sure you read it.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. See, I believe the author of the Quran isn't a man. I believe the author of the Quran is the creator of everything.